Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we're doing something, I alluded to it on Monday. We're doing something unique, something new in the Ruff Talk VR podcast, which is what I would call a double feature. Like those old drive-in, you finish one movie, whole new movie
rolls
starts.
right into another.
Yeah, and the reason being is because there's two things that we really wanted to go over this week. And, maybe we don't need to pump out 4 or 5 episodes in 1 week, at least at this point. So we figured, we'll cram them in. We'll do a double feature. So today we wanted to talk about the new Walkabout Mini Golf DLC, Myst, which is one of the more iconic games of the, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, they picked up. We knew this was coming, but come on, man.
The hype is real. People, this is like Labyrinth. There's a lot of people who maybe never grew up with Labyrinth, so the DLC was like whatever. In the same sense, there's going to be a lot of people who didn't grow up with Myst. They just never encountered it, so it's whatever. But for the people who did, they're probably shaking in their boots with excitement. Like, oh, it's coming, it's coming.
Oh, no, the genuine excitement leading up to it for sure. I mean, I admittingly was not a big Myst player, so, I played it once and was like, oh, okay, but I just had other interests.
Yeah, and well, in fairness, I wasn't a big Jules Verne, reader and stuff like that. Am I hyped for the courses? Hell yeah. I mean, anything Walkabout mini golf is going to get anticipation.
Yeah, I don't
from
care
me.
what it is, to be honest with you.
They could say I'm coming out with the cafe course and I'd be like, oh dude, I'm going to shoot balls into coffee cups, into coffee, pots. I can't wait. They could do anything and I'd be excited. So when it's a big existing name like Myst, of course I'm going to be excited,
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do on the second half. Just to leave you with anticipation too. And the way we're doing our rating for that, like we did when we reviewed 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, we can't do our 5 different gameplay categories. No. It's ridiculous to try to put value on a $2.99 DLC because obviously it's a max score, So what we're doing for Walkabout DLC courses is just a simple rating of 1 to 10. And then our first feature, which I guess then we can just roll right into it, we're gonna talk about Among Us VR that just came out from Shell Games, published by Shell Games, and it has so much hype to it. Among Us was a game that existed pre-pandemic, but during the pandemic, when everybody was at home, the game soared in popularity, and you know what? I'd say for good reason. I was a big Among Us player. Whenever I was at home, my friends, we were meeting up nightly for a couple of weeks. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did not play it or get into it. I think I played it once because you had showed me a bunch of times. You're like, this is the coolest game ever.
Well, the concept of the game is really, really cool. You have these blob-looking guys. I think that they have an actual name for their species, but the Among Us characters, everybody knows them, and you can pick your character color, and then there's some different hats to choose from, and then games go up to 10 people, and in this style of game, the more the merrier. You're not going to get
definitely don't want the least is not going to help you.
No, if you have 5 people, 4, you can't really do it. You need at least 7, but really the biggest enjoyment is 10. But nonetheless, so it's such a cool concept because these games have. I'm trying to think of how to explain it without.
No, I deliberately left you hanging there.
Yeah. It's you load into the starship, I guess you could say. And if you have a group of 10, 8 of them are going to be crewmates. And your job as a crewmate is to fix up the ship. Everybody's going to get different tasks. And if everybody completes all their tasks, it's an instant win. That's your main goal as the crewmate. However, if you have 10 people, 2 of them are going to be what's known as imposters. So murderers, horrendous people.
Murders.
And these imposters need to try to kill everybody on the ship or sabotage the ship. That's another way to win, but I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But let's say you're going the killing route. So they need to try to kill everybody without getting outed as the killer. And when you kill somebody as the imposter, the body's just kind of laying there. And if somebody finds it, they can call an emergency meeting, or there's also a red button that each player can press once around in the middle of the map. That also calls an emergency meeting. And then from there, everybody discusses and you try to vote out who you think is the imposter. Maybe you saw the guy kill, which that happened in one of our games. It was pretty funny. You watched me murder somebody and tried to out me. And
yeah, people weren't listening.
No, convinced them. I played it beautiful. But let's say you see somebody kill him, you're like, boom, whatever. But regardless, when you find a dead body, you should probably call a meeting, because what I've learned is if you're a crewmate, you see a dead body and you don't call it, if you act suspicious around that, people are going to think you're the killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to call that meeting the second you see a body. But yeah, that's the concept, is try to kill everybody without getting caught if you're the imposter. And then the crewmates try to figure out who the imposters are or fix up the ship. Now, imposters can also do what's known as sabotaging. And in the VR version, you just open up the map and you can pick anywhere of the locations at any time to sabotage. Boom, you sabotage it. And everybody really needs to drop their task that they're doing now and go fix the sabotage, because it gives you 30 seconds. If those 30 seconds go down and nobody's repaired the sabotage, boom, instant win for the imposters. So everybody kind of has two ways to win. Either imposters kill everybody or successfully gets a sabotage. And the crewmates, either they repair everything or they successfully out the imposters. So pretty simple concept, but it really shows human nature at its highest level, I would say.
Oh, yeah, because you have the whole discussion period when somebody either presses the button because they think it's just a whodunit. But, if you're the person that's tasked with murdering everyone, obviously you're not going to go into these meetings and be like, oh, it's me. So you're going to do it and say whatever you need to if the heat's even coming that way. Because I see a lot of times, like, you can pick up the vibe of the room at the meeting when people are like, well, I'm not 100%, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be a no vote.
You're like, all right, I'm safe. If you're the imposter there and you hear people talking about
then
skipping.
You go into like, somebody finds a body, whatever, and you go back into that meeting. Even if you're not the imposter, you could just be the orange guy. And friggin', people might be like, oh, no, it's white. It's white. We know it's white. And it's like, well, whether it's white or not, that's who's going to get that vote. And so if you are the imposter and you're not,
you're not hearing your name being suspected, you're going to lean into it. You're going to be like, hell yeah, it's white.
But you don't even need to say shit. You just be quiet and just vote where everyone's voting.
Well, here's where VR brings a different element to this game. In the other versions, in the computer version and the phone version, it's text chat.
Yep.
So it's so much easier to lie and put up a character through text where nobody can hear your tone. Anything.
Just words.
In this, it's voice chat. I mean, they have a text chat that you can open by like opening up the menu. Then there's a text box and there's a bunch of pre-selected things.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like really.
Nothing that's going to get deep.
And it would take too long to actually communicate in that method during a discussion, I think, in my opinion. But with voice chat, it's like you can try to BS, but if you're not a good liar, you're going to get caught.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you just don't do well in the hot seat under pressure, you can even be not guilty.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna allude to, that, if your personality just isn't there for being accused of something that you genuinely didn't do, because I've already seen that happen.
Yeah, that even happened to me last night, because I was one of the imposters and I had successfully convinced that it was not me.
Yeah,
I had actually gotten somebody else outed.
Yep.
But then the next game I wasn't the imposter, and there was some heat coming my way a little bit because I acted a little suspicious around something by accident.
Do you want to talk about our first game?
What's that?
When my night consisted of, for whatever reason, it was just presumed that I was going to be the imposter.
I did you dirty.
I know, man. Posted in Discord and shit.
We're playing with our Discord community, and I'm like, everybody keep an eye on Stratus. This is his type of game. He's gonna be the shiftiest. And yeah, people just assumed it was you.
Yep. So either if like I was seen by the imposter, I'd get killed. And if I wasn't seen by the imposter and we go into a meeting, even without saying a word, I could be next to people. They'd be like, I don't know, blue's up to something.
But that just happened. At least that only happened the first time. You didn't act too shifty that whole night, and that kind of, I think, carried you.
It was freaking great.
But there's a couple things I forgot to mention right at the start that I think is kind of important to specify. So we're not doing a full review of Among Us today. As you could hear when I was describing the game, not ready to give the full breakdown of our full thoughts and the way everything works. The game just came out. We've been doing a lot of fun private lobbies with our Discord community, but we haven't really done public lobbies.
Yeah, that's where we're going to spend.
And in fairness, you kind of got to do that in order to review it. So what we're doing today is our early impressions on it. And then as well, I did not mention, so I said Shell Games is the publisher. They're actually not the publisher of this. I just want to specify who is and who the other developers are because it's well done and they deserve the love.
Of course.
So it's published by Inner Sloth, who's the original makers of.
Which they have a great logo, by the way.
Come on, I love sloths.
Right?
Come on. And then it's developed by Shell Games, Inner Sloth LLC, and Robot Teddy. So 3 different development studios working on this game, and it's pretty polished in the end, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I won't go too deep, but it's exceeded my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't have the experience of playing it before it was VR, so it's like I'm really going into it
blind.
Yeah, like, you know, and also thinking like how many people will this be their first time ever playing this type of game. But you know, right, I mean, we won't know till we do the public lobbies, but I haven't heard one person say that there wasn't a lot of kids. And
so that was always a complaint of Among Us before VR was that it's a free app. You know, you can just get it for free on your phone. So obviously free equals kids, you know? So a lot of kids got very into Among Us. And that was kind of a fear people had where it's like, well, look, the kids were bad enough in Among Us in the text chat. I don't want to go into a lobby of 9 other people that are all high-pitched, screeching kids under the 13-year-old age requirement just going nuts, you know? And I have seen some of those complaints that there's a lot of kids in the public lobbies, but haven't experienced it myself yet either.
That's where we're going.
So, and as well, I didn't mention that either. The game's $9.99 on the official MetaQuest store.
Which is, well, I don't want to get, it's a steal.
It's a steal.
You know, I mean.
There's a lot of enjoyment in it, and if anything, it not being free is going to very much cut back on the kid issue, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, mom and dad will probably buy it. I mean, if the lobbies are already filled, we're, you know, these aren't kids' headsets.
Clearly,
these
it
are
hasn't
their parents'
stopped them.
headsets.
But just imagine if it was free, I can only imagine that it would be times 10, you know?
Oh, yeah, no. God, no.
So,
Dude, no.
A couple things with this. I'd say that this is a game that your most enjoyment
At least
comes
we
at.
can go into the lobby as a group of 2, so it's not like we're
Soloing it at the very worst case. Yeah, that's
Correct.
true. And so a game like this, I've mentioned it before, you know, the more the merrier. You need at least a big group, at least, you know, like 8.
7 to 10.
Yeah, I'd say 7 to 10 is the range. Here's the thing. At 7, you still only have 1 imposter, though. Everything 7 and under is 1 imposter for the group.
Which is fair.
Yeah, because you don't want it's outnumbered. Once you get to 8, 9, and 10 players, then you have 2 imposters in the whole group as well. So you just imagine playing 5 people. It's just not the same. So 1, you need a big group. And then 2, who's in the group that you're playing with is going to very much dictate the enjoyment.
Well, if anyone wants to play adult guaranteed, they can come to our Discord.
Yeah, we've been
And
setting
we'll
up.
probably be playing for a while. So
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun the last couple
we
days.
got a game meetup section in there. You can just post in there, and I don't think you'll struggle too hard to get people to play with.
Nope, a couple days in a row we've done some. You know, the first night we played, I think we only had 7 people.
7 or 8.
It was 7 because remember we only had the 1 imposter.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
But then the next time we played, boom, full lobby right away, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, we even played with the Bocce dev was with us.
He was hosting it. He had the best internet.
I'll tell you right now, I'm keeping an eye on that guy. He's good at
Yeah,
playing
we'll
this
get
shit.
into that.
Yeah, so I mean the concept of the game is real simple. Even the graphics aren't anything sophisticated. They kind of have that like, you know, style of VR graphics you'll see sometimes, the pencil drawn look, you know, it's really not super detailed. Or I guess super high def. But I don't think it needs to be in this game. I actually think the graphics work really good for it.
Yeah, it's what you got to do and say that's the most important in this. I mean, obviously graphics are important, but it's more of that cartoon world.
Yeah, that's
me
why
then.
I don't know if pencil drawing is the right way to put it, but cartoon world is a good
Almost like
description.
cartoon world.
Versus like those typical, you know, like Unity blocky graphics that you might also see. And then, you know, voice.
I'm censoring myself for the rest of this, by the way, because we're going to be reviewing it. So
Yeah, you don't want to
say too much.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like we don't have enough hours in it to give it a fair review, but we've done enough games that there's, you know, some things that we do definitely want to go over, but can't blow off all of our steam for next week either, you know. But the game has proximity chat, so you don't need to be in a party lobby in this, like a lobby. What's the word I'm looking for? A party chat.
Yeah, private chat, party chat.
And the game actually works much better, not because the addition of proximity voice chat is huge. You know, if you're in one room and somebody else 2 rooms away, they're not going to hear you.
Not going to hear you scream.
Nope. If you're in a group chat, you know, you might hear somebody get murdered. They would be like, "Oh man, I just got murdered." But if they're alone in a room, somebody pops out of a vent and kills them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using party chat and playing this, you're cheating. I mean, that's essentially what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And that was a complaint that would come up in like the free flat screen version. People would like play with their friends, and then they'd all. But that's why it's the group that you're in dictates the fun. You know.
Yeah. So we'll definitely see what's up in the public lobbies.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah,
I'm nervous
because it's either private or public. That's the only way you're playing this.
I've even seen some people, you know, like, hey, I had the N-word thrown at me in the first, 2 minutes I hopped in, and it's like, that's never what you want to hear, especially in a game like this that you can't have that stuff going on. Or like you go and there's a bunch of little kids and they're just like, I'm the imposter every time. It's like, well, now the game's not fun.
Yeah, I've heard that one a couple of times. I did hear a parent who was like, my kid used to play this game and I didn't really think anything of it. And then I got it for VR for him. And he's like, the body was chopped in half and laying on the floor. I can't believe this is the best game ever. I've never had so much fun in my life. So it was good to see some adult positive posts of like, they're actually the one who's playing it, not their kid.
Man, I'll say right now, if you have a mature lobby going on,
you're going to have a great time.
It's hilarious. Like when you call emergency meeting because somebody got killed or somebody just presses the button, whatever, it gives you a discussion period. And then there's a voting period. And it's not like you vote for somebody and because one person voted for them, they're out. Like it needs a majority. And people can even skip votes, So it's like if you guys get it wrong, and now, one thing to skip a vote, but you falsely accuse somebody and you vote them out, everybody always says the same thing, right? They're like, all right, you're going to see, like, you're going to regret that. Like, have fun. And then it'll show them, like, floating out in space, and then it'll tell you, Green was not an imposter. And every time the whole lobby, you just hear everybody's voice chat go crazy. They're like, oh, it's always funny. And it's cool to see everybody's different. I don't know, the fact that how easy it is to convince people, like not just me, I get convinced, I get tricked all the time by people. It's like, man, humans are very, very manipulatable. And a game like this shows it.
Oh, I agree. I'll talk about it. I told you I'm not saying nothing more.
Yeah,
man. I'm not saying another word.
I think that's good for the early impressions on it at this point. But otherwise we're going to
start
to go.
The only thing missing is the score.
Yeah. If we did reviews in 18 minutes, that would be.
No.
We got much more to say, trust me. And I think we'll have very interesting opinions after spending a week in a mix of private and public lobbies. But nonetheless, so that's our early impressions on Among Us so far. $9.99, like you said, it's a steal. It's a blast.
Yeah, there's no reason not, even if you hate it. I mean, for $9.99, it's like, well, why not try it?
Yeah, and I mean, if your issue is finding a group to play with, come join our Discord. Like you said, we're setting up a bunch of things in our game meetup section, and you're pretty much guaranteed a mature, lively.
Look, there's nobody who didn't. I did not want to play a game with 10 people ever. Mm-hmm. I saw no reason in my life to ever, but
now you do.
For a game like this, yeah, it works. So if you do have a nice mature crowd that can,
And I can understand people being like, well, look, that sounds great and all, but I don't have 9 other people that I know who have VR, so I am at the mercy of the public lobbies. Not only are we setting up games in our Discord, which hint, hint, nudge, nudge, that's the one you should go check out. Even like the Shell games, the Among Us VR.
Yeah, you can find plenty of people to play with.
Everybody's VR Discords are doing game meetups. It's pretty hot right now. So other than that, let's get into the
amazingly,
other feature.
This is the only other, what we're going to talk about next is the only other one that also works with a shit ton of people.
That's actually
the more
correct.
The merrier.
That's Walkabout Mini Golf, like we said in the beginning. Their new DLC for Myst. And you say that because at this point, Walkabout supports up to 8 people.
Yep.
Which I will say, if you have a group that big in Walkabout, like an Among Us round is what, 5-10 minutes, depending on the way things go.
Oh, it could be over,
depending.
7 players, someone could instantly know.
Mm-hmm. Or somebody could pull off a quick sabotage. Nobody stops it. Boom. That's it. That's done. Couple minutes,
Mm-hmm.
8 players. in Walkabout mini golf, I've not done an 8-person lobby yet. Somebody in our Discord did. Amelia did. I think she said it's something like an hour and a half or something like that.
You're going to be there for more than an hour for sure.
Well, think even just us when we were playing Myst, it was probably like what, 30 minutes for 2 people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit more, especially those first couple where we're really looking for the balls.
Yeah, we're crazy.
Yeah, so we'll hop right into it. So now it's time for the other half of the feature, our breakdown on the Myst course, which right off the top, something I've been dying to say about this. Whoever hid the balls on this one, hats off.
I think it's the same dude, isn't it?
It's got to be, but man, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, our first playthrough of it, we got all the balls.
Yeah, that's never happened.
But we went hunting, but it's not like we did it quick. Like we really devoted some time to it, but we got all the balls. We have still not gotten all the balls on Myst. And like,
I'm convinced they're not all there.
Dude, there's a couple of them that like,
I'm convinced.
They've always been good with hiding the balls with like texture similarity, layout, where it is, perspective. Oh, you look from that angle, there it is. This course is on a whole different level with that stuff.
Not just that, the course itself is ridiculously on a different level.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the...
I'd say it's the hardest one I've ever played.
I'd agree, especially that hard mode.
From Walkabout, definitely.
I'd say where they really knocked it out of the park on this one is how interactable the whole course is. Like most of the holes, it's like there's buttons you have to hit that activate air vents. Like there's so many different things going on. Most of the courses have a couple like, I guess, interactable areas, but it's almost every hole on this. It's like, no, there's some like almost puzzle to it. And that makes sense as Myst is a puzzle game.
Yeah, this is not... I'm waiting for the hole in one videos on a couple of holes because I'm like, you know what? I just don't.
I got one that was ridiculous that I will never be able to replicate. It was just like one of those, you hit it so hard and it ricochets and it actually
Flies
goes in
the air and goes in. Yeah.
But like I said, most of these on most holes, so like you'll see the hole at the end, but there's a wall up. And then let's say that there's a button in front of it. So in order to get that wall down, you have to, roll over the button, the wall will go down, and then here's a chance to go in. So you kind of have to time it how hard you hit it, because, if you activate the button and then you go super fast, the wall's still coming down, you're just going to ricochet off the wall and go back to the starting point. Some of them, the buttons are, it'll only stay down while you're on it. Some of them, it'll be like if you go over it again, it'll undo it. So you have to be really smart about how you hit it. And that's just one example. Like I said, there's other ones that there's an air vent blowing. You hit the button, boom, now air starts coming out. And you'll see a couple of them, so you kind of have to time, all right, how you doing it? Maybe the button changes the gravity of, not gravity, but like the level of a platform. Maybe it spins a wall, and it's like never ending with the possibilities on this one. They've really knocked it out of the park, like I said, with the interactability.
Well, that and the whole challenge of the courses is what really blew me away. Was like they're giving you, not just typical, I'll say typical, Walkabout quality with everything else, but the courses are definitely harder.
Mm-hmm. They're
especially in the hard mode. Come on, man.
Yeah, the hard mode one was absolutely ridiculous. I think we got what, plus 25 and plus 27 on it.
Yep. It was bad.
It was one of my very rare really beatings bad. Of yours. But yeah, like I said, since Myst is a puzzle game, there's even one hole in this that it's like they have a bunch of buttons on the ground, and then they have I won't say where, but like the images of which buttons you need to hit are somewhere in the course, and it's like if you just went in here and started swinging, you wouldn't figure that out. You'd have to hit every button before you really figured it out. But it's like, nope, they're bringing a puzzle game element to Walkabout mini golf. It's very interesting.
There's also levers and stuff at certain holes that you can manipulate, and I don't know what it does, if it does anything at all, but I'm kind of like,
well, what happens if you flip them all up? And
yeah, I'm wondering, like, is there some sequence or pattern you should use, or is it just a novelty and you're literally just flicking a button? But there is the one that moves a clock.
Yeah, that also
can change the time of a clock, and
it has a button on it that doesn't do anything when you click the button.
Yeah.
All I can think is like, man, if I spent more time in Myst, if I grew up with Myst,
yeah,
I probably know. And you're
exactly.
like, all right, so you put that lever up, that lever down. The next lever is going to go. The next two are going to go up, and then something. I feel like that there's something bonus in there somewhere.
It's the first time I ever was like, oh, I regret not really playing Myst.
Well, that's what's smart about doing these crossovers.
But what's cool is having not played Myst and playing, the two courses. It's like,
oh, I saw.
damn, I haven't missed nothing.
No, no pun intended.
Right.
But no, that's actually a good point. I wanted to get into that too. If anybody knows what's up with those levers, those buttons, those interactable environment parts that don't have to do with the course, yeah, let us know.
It could just be a novelty.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably about 50-50 right now.
I know. I personally feel like
it has to do something.
They do something, but I move them and nothing happens, and I press this and nothing happens other than like it lights up and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll look in the sky and look around for like clues or whatever.
No, yeah, man. Walkabout mini golf, well, more specifically, Mighty Coconut.
Mm-hmm.
They never disappoint. For $2.99, dude.
No, well, there's a reason why they dominate what they do.
Mm-hmm. I think it's only going to grow. Like the social VR aspect is highlighted so strongly in Walkabout mini golf. It's just, it has that, like I always say, that magic it feel. You hop in, you go, oh, this is good. I mean, 2 holes into Myst, I was like, this is going to be a good course. This is already hard.
Oh, fuck yeah. I'm not complaining about the fact we haven't found all the balls yet.
No,
and now my fear is like, do you have to like hit one of those levers to find the ball?
Okay, so there was a couple of the balls that we found that are very hard to see, like extremely.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
And it's like, man, is that how they're playing in this? So these balls, and it's like something that we ran into is like, where exactly does the course start? Where exactly does I'm sorry, not the course, but the hole. Where's the start of the hole? Where's the end technically? Like now am I looking in the other hole that I already found the ball? It's like, where's the boundaries that this could go on to?
I don't know. So, they got me stumped with a couple of the holes though.
We always do our cockroach thing where, new hole, we just, you see us both shoot out. We're looking everywhere and
sniffing all the corners.
A lot of these holes aren't like labyrinth length. Remember Labyrinth? Labyrinth was so long. There was a huge course. Balls could have been anywhere in that sense. In this one, it's like none of them are really huge like that.
But they're hidden.
That's almost worse.
They're hidden.
When you can see the whole course, right? Or the whole hole right around you, and you're like,
there's no ball.
Oh,
I know. Dude, trust me, I get it.
There's that one that has like almost that surgical looking seat on it, and then you have to hit the correct buttons to lower it, and then you can go in. Where like there's those shelves, those like kind of circular shelves, and I remember you looking at each level of the shelves.
I was on the floor.
Yeah, I could see your guy all the way down to the ground, and I'm like, dude, you're looking at the ground right now. You're like, I know how these guys play.
Yeah, it's like,
and guess what? We didn't find it in that one.
Nope. I even said, I'm like, well played, Coconut.
Yeah, I think we said that a lot of times.
Well played.
I was like, wow, they really outdid themselves with the hiding balls on this one.
Yeah.
And there's no shortage of holes on this one that will destroy your score. I mean, even...
That's what I'm saying. I want to see all the hole-in-one videos for this course.
There's some of them I'm like, I don't see how you would do a hole-in-one on this one.
No. Some of them, absolutely. But others, I'm like, if you get a hole-in-one... blind luck. You earn. I can't say you even earned it because I can think of a couple where it's like, wow, you just have to smash it and pray, and
especially when you've never done the hole before. Because what happens is we get to a new hole. We cockroach out finding for the ball, whatever.
Looking for the ball first, man.
But then we'll do a kind of a quick up and down of the hole, and it's pretty simple. Like, all right, you just kind of build a game plan. With this one, if it's the first time you've ever been on the hole, because there's kind of the puzzle element, you'll be like, well, what's those buttons do? The only way you're going to learn is play the hole, So it's like, not only were we going and looking for the ball and analyzing the hole from a strategic standpoint, we would also analyze it and go, how does this hole work? Like, what's going on? What are these buttons, So it's like a whole different element to your strategy in this.
Oh, yeah. Knowing that not only do you have to hit your golf ball, but you have to hit it specifically over
a sequence of events, I guess you could say, the buttons or whatever.
I hate calling it a button because that makes it sound like it's sticking up.
No, it's like this square.
Yeah, it's just a platform, or not even a platform.
I just call them a button because it's like your ball hits it and then it interacts, but it's like a square thing just placed on the ground with an image on it.
Yeah, and you better hit it.
And on the button, if you look the image that's on the button is going to give you a hint of what that button does. Like the wind one's going to show some wind.
Wind one's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I
Got
guess
the
why I
big
keep
pipe.
referencing it because it's or like you might see, what is obviously something tilted. Well, all right, that's going to tilt, Man, the ones that were the most essential are the ones that like, you hit it and then it builds the wall. But on that same hole that I'm referencing that makes you build the wall, there's no walls on the hard mode one.
No.
That one was so terrible to do.
No, that was...
I think this might have been one of my highest hard mode scores.
Yeah, I mean, I knew if the difficulty of the normal course is challenging enough, you already know that in hard mode, it's going to be... And they did a great job. I mean, it's a great challenging course. It's definitely entertaining. I think it's going to take people a little longer to master like some of the people have with the other courses.
There's so much strategy in this one.
And I think they're just, as Mighty Coconut does, every time they do something, it's going to be great, but it just gets a little better.
Now they're always
And
upping the...
better. Yeah, and it's like, I feel like they upped the ante on the ball find.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for this course, they upped the ante on the challenge level of it.
Without a doubt. I mean, I think that there's some other courses that we haven't found every single ball on, but I don't think we've ever struggled like that.
No.
And again, in the hard mode, I don't think I've ever had such a high score, and even, we've done the course a good amount of times. There's a couple holes that if I play it wrong, they're just going to, like I said, destroy my score. Like,
yeah, you will stroke out.
Yeah, I stroked out a lot, especially in the hard mode. Oh my goodness, it was terrible. Like that one that even it's in the normal mode where you're like, you can see the buttons kind of like going up, and then each one that you hit like moves a platform down, and you have to hit it to the correct button and have that platform go down, and then you roll off the side and go right into the hole. I remember that one. I was like -5 or something like that.
I blind lucked it the first time we played that one.
Yeah, it's funny. Then the next time you went to go do it, you struggled with it.
Yeah, I almost stroked out.
Yeah. It's funny how that goes, but that one completely destroyed my score the first time we did it, and I was doing so good. I was so proud of myself. I was like under par by a little bit. I was like, dude, first time I do this course, I'm going to go under par, and it seemed so hard. And then I think I ended up, because it was the first time we did, I think I finished like +7.
Yeah.
It's like,
it only takes one hole, though, to really muff up a score.
And again, there's no shortage of those holes in this one.
Especially in hard mode.
Yeah, dude, I can't
hard
say
mode's
enough.
a score eater.
I can't say it enough. The hard mode in this one is hard.
Yeah, I give them props. I wish I could compare it more to Myst, but I guess I'll go into it with the open mind of I can't because I wasn't a Myst player.
Well, again, I feel like they did a good job in that, if you didn't play Myst, you're going to get enjoyment out of it. That's something,
Hell
I
yeah.
didn't feel like we were missing much.
Look, they brought to the table what they do best, so.
But you got to think there's some pretty iconic puzzles in Myst, and there's probably some people who either see reference to that in the course
a lot
themselves,
of references, yeah.
Or what I think a lot of reference comes in is exactly what you were theorizing in those, interactable objects that don't seem to do anything. I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of deep cuts for big Myst fans that are going to be a huge hit. I keep saying it, man. Though again, I wasn't like, it's not like I grew up and Jules Verne was my favorite author and I read every single one of his books. It's not, nothing bad. I love them, and the courses have been amazing. Labyrinth was an amazing course. It's a good movie. It's not my #1 movie. Same thing with Myst.
I don't think it's anybody's #1.
I can't wait till we get, I keep saying it, something like a Star Wars course, or like something that's like selfishly very close to home in me. Something that I see and I go, oh, that's one of my favorite movies or one of my favorite shows. And because if I've been enjoying these ones that I don't know that much about going in, and I've been loving these courses so much, I can only imagine for somebody who this is one of their favorites. It just must feel so good.
This is also, isn't this our third licensed map course in a row now?
Just this year? I mean, yeah, they pumped out so they pumped out Labyrinth, then they pumped out, did they do 1 or 2 Jules Verne so far?
Just one.
Just one, the 20,000 Leagues.
Yep.
And then they just pumped
with
this
2
one.
coming soon.
And they even changed the UI on the hole select a little bit, where you used to just kind of like scroll through them all. Now they have it in like categories. So they'll show like the base courses.
Yeah.
Then they show the Lost Cities courses. When you scroll over, then they go, There's the Jules Verne. So it's cool to see the categories of it
I
going on.
like they're coming soon.
Well,
That's always good. But that you figure that's already a wrap, probably.
I think that was essential for them to update that user interface like that because I don't think they're slowing down on courses, especially these like.
No, so it makes me wonder: are they going to go? What's going to be their next drop?
I'm. If I had to guess, I imagine they'll finish up Jules Verne, right? And then what? It could be anything.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I don't know, but I'm with you. I wouldn't complain about a Star Wars one.
That would be number one, or a Harry Potter, or Lord of the Rings, or anything. I don't know. I'm blanking
I don't care
on
what
series.
they do.
Yeah,
I don't care what they do as long as they keep doing what they're doing. And what they do is inspirational in the VR world because there's so many. It's like if they do something, the news will pick up on it. They do get the proper accolades and kudos for what they do. And we know other developers look at them as like, they're kind of role models in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it the way, Mighty Coconut does it, they've gotten a proven program for success.
And we've talked to several people from the team, and it's like you can really hear the creativity that is.
Their team is sick.
Oh my God, it's a dream team. We always say that it's a dream team, and you see it in that product.
That's your Olympic gold medalist right there.
And I know we said this ad nauseum in the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea review, but dude, $2.99.
Yeah. No,
$3.
What can you say?
Technically, you get 2 courses.
Cheaper than an extra large cup of coffee.
Right? And you're going to get much more enjoyment and like longer usage out of it,
Yeah, you can invite friends and shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, geez, I could play the easy course itself probably, 3-4 times in a row, no problem. And that's just the easy course. Then you have a whole nother course in the hard, the dark mode, the night mode one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for $3, you're getting so much additional playtime.
It's funny that it's $3.
Mm-hmm. And
but no, they've always charged reasonable. And you would think for licensed stuff, they would have to go a little higher, but
that's something that we've always said. But no, they keep that baby $2.99, and it's like, damn.
I think it's because they really want everyone to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, what's the bare minimum we have to charge to make that happen?
Well, and they sell
keeps the lights on.
They sell 1 million. That's $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. It's like I imagine
which they can put towards more licensing.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious. We'll never be privy to this stuff. Not only am I curious how many copies Walkabout sold, because they're big not only on the MetaQuest. It's like their top Steam game as well. It's like I wonder how many sales these DLCs actually get. I think it's a lot. My guess is a lot. For them to be able to get these licenses,
you got to figure millions. They probably sold millions of copies
of just the game. Yeah, without a doubt, in my opinion. When you hear like Oculus go like 50% of developers have made this much, 50,
and how can you not get one of the DLCs? It's like you bought the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like it's as much as the game or more than the game. It's literally cheaper than a cup of coffee.
And
and you own it.
We're hitting the point in Walkabout courses that it's not that it's like unrealistic fantasy, but it's like you wouldn't go to a mini golf course and see this type of like you can't go and experience this,
No, not at all.
You're gonna hit underneath the windmill, whatever, and it's like their original courses are more of those traditional, what you would see at realistically most mini golf courses, whereas like these last couple DLCs are just like
the limit.
They're really leaning into the possibilities of VR, their physics engine, the interactability, and I swear you're seeing some of that Disney Imagineer talent in the design of these courses. It's really creative.
No, I think everybody, and we said it before, their dream team, but I don't think it matters what the role is. I think everyone who's got a role is all, meaning like I'll never work for Mighty Coconut. I could bring nothing to the table.
Too much talent.
In compare, it's like the talent you're up against.
I can talk about your game a lot. To tell you how great it is.
Can't sell your game for you because you've already got that honed.
No, they're killing it. Again, when you go to the top selling charts, they're always in the most popular, the top selling in Steam and the MetaQuest.
Great for the community.
Yeah,
they really are.
Cross platform too. I think that's essential for a game like this. We were saying that we hope Population 1 we would see that with PlayStation VR and just to expand the player base. And I think that's it's nice for us selfishly when like we're setting up a get together, and it doesn't matter if somebody's on PC VR
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like, all right, if you're on the Quest, if you're on the Rift, whatever, we can play together. And I think that that's huge.
Cross-platforms is shit.
What's that?
I said everyone wins with cross-platform.
Oh, yeah. I understand when games aren't because development is complicated, but it is so nice when games are cross-platform.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, Walkabout mini golf, taking it to the next level every time. I'm so excited to see the rest of these Jules Verne courses, and then, like you said, who knows what they're.
Yeah, I'm more curious about what I don't know than what I already know is coming. Because I already know it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, are they ever going to put out something that's not going to be fun and great? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't even know why I can even talk about them anymore because it's like literally.
Well, it's like
what's bad to say?
I don't want to not put out these episodes.
Yeah,
either,
no.
But it is very obvious what our rating is going to be. Like I said, we're just doing a simple 1 to 10 with this, not our full in-depth, rating. But it should be no surprise that it's above 5 or 6 for any mock. Like it's very obvious. You see us put out Walkabout mini golf thoughts. It's probably going to be positive.
Maybe I'm biased at this point, but I don't care because I really challenge like what's negative to say about them as a company as a whole. You can't say anything but positive things. Their finished product is, the only area that anyone could ever knock them, and it's such a fine line, is just probably graphics.
But I actually think the graphics
make the game. That's the thing. So it's like, it's their thing.
That's part of the reason it's so happy feeling and so alive, It's hard not to smile opening up Walkabout mini golf,
No. Looking at all the balls you earned.
So a game's good when their worst aspect is actually a positive. It's like,
it's like if I were to ever look for anything, that's the one thing I'd look for. But if it wasn't that way, then it wouldn't be the experience that they're putting on the table. So it's Walkabout.
Yeah, it's like, what can you say? I mean, what all
the price, bro?
Right? What I can
attest. Shit was expensive. $2.99. I spent $2.99 on that.
What I at the very least that I think we can attest to is whether you're a Myst fan, whether you've played Myst or not, it's still going to be an enjoyable course.
Yeah, it's worth every penny.
It's not like recycled aspects of other courses. It's like the way that they're utilizing these buttons and the physics and the interactability of the courses, the bridge building, the rotating, it's on a whole new level. It's like
the ball hiding.
The ball hiding, yeah.
Ball hiding.
Oh, man, did they do a good job with that.
Yeah, kudos to that guy.
Yeah.
So aside from everyone else who busted ass to make it and make it a beautiful product, the ball hider, kudos.
Well, I feel like all of these DLCs, they're bringing something new with each DLC. It's like Labyrinth. It's like they showed off their artistic capabilities with
the sheer size of it. Yes. Yeah, the massiveness.
All of the courses, I love the artwork. I'm not saying Labyrinth was better artistically, but what sticks out is exactly that, the vastness. It's a huge course. There's even one of the holes where we went running in the maze in Labyrinth and we're like, how big is this? So that's what they really showed off in that. In 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, they really showed off their creativity with what they can do with a submarine.
Small space, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't so much new interactability like this new one, but it was like, dude, it's a submarine. There's only so much you can do, right? Wrong. Here's 36 holes because of easy and hard, of really creative aspects. And then in this new course, they're like, well, what can we bring to the table with interactability and puzzles? And
for doing a puzzle game, it makes total sense.
It was genius. I didn't think that they were going to go that route. In the back of my mind, I was like, what's the Myst tie-in going to be? Is it going to be just environment, But it's like, no,
I thought it was just
a puzzle game.
Scenery and environment, to be honest with you. And I was content with that.
Yeah. Now, no, it's a puzzle game.
It's like, no, there's interactivity going on.
Mm-hmm. Some thinking the first couple of times you hit the hole, you're going to be like, wait, okay, let me go check out what that, but what do you got to do, There was even one in the hard mode where it's like, you had to hit it all the way one way, like down a hall, you had to go down, hit a button, and then you're like, where's the hole? And I'm like, it's back at the beginning,
At the start, yeah.
And that's another thing that'll happen. Will be like these elevated platforms around a hole, and until you hit either one button or a certain sequence of buttons, that platform for the hole is going to stay up. So unless you get lucky with an airborne shot, You have to hit all the buttons, otherwise it's impossible to go in. Oh, they did such a good job.
Mhm.
They did such
I
a good
can't
job.
hype it up enough.
Yeah.
But at that point, I'm a shill.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I don't want to not do these reviews, It's like, but it's pretty obvious. If it comes from Walkabout Mini Golf,
Just jump on
Mighty
it.
Coconut, it's going to get a positive
And
rating
if
out
you're
of
on the
us.
fence, now you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
What I'd say that this review serves the biggest purpose, like I said, is if somebody was like, oh, never played Myst. Am I going to enjoy it?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You're going
Absolutely.
to love it.
I'm living proof.
Now, if you did play Myst, you're just going to love it even more,
Correct. And then you can maybe answer some questions.
Yes, please. Like I said before, if anybody knows about those buttons, the levers, any of that stuff, please let us know, because it's killing me. It looks like it should, but it does nothing.
Nope.
And
It might not do anything either.
there's even one that has like almost like these tiki torch looking things, and you can click a button on it and it like highlights the image on it. And we went around and clicked every single one of them on. We're like, something's got to happen.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, there's something there. But more important than that to me is getting all 18 of those balls.
Yeah. That's objective number one.
Dude, on hole number 1, we were stumped for a bit. Like,
dude, it didn't even take but hole 1 before I realized this is going to be hard.
A problem.
Both in playing, and I think hole 2 was like our first real struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. We're struggling on hole 2 with trying to find a ball.
Well, I think it took us a couple minutes for hole 1. I think there was an initial struggle, but then we did get hole 1.
Yep.
And it was real environmental. We were like, oh. But then, hole 2. Right there, I knew it was over. I was like, we're not getting all the balls.
This is not going to be a short game, and we're not going home with all our balls.
I think the first time we played this one, it probably took us over an hour to finish the course.
Easily.
Just because of searching all around. Oh, and I was doing so good getting so close to under par, and then it just all melted away on that hole. I was so pissed because to unlock the hard course, you either need to get, I forget the exact number of balls. I don't think it's all of them, but you need to get a certain number of balls.
10.
Or you need to get under par on the course.
Par.
So I was like, by that point, I was like, we're not getting 10 balls. We're not getting all the balls. There's no way. So I was like, all right, if I can at least get under par, I'll unlock the hard course.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had 10 or 9.
Yep.
And then
by the end of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just missing that one.
Now I think we're up to, and since then I've scored under par, but I think we're at 11 or 12 of the balls.
Yeah, still got more to go.
There's some of them I'm like, I don't think I'm ever, I don't know where it could be. I've searched every single inch, and there was one that we almost didn't find it, and then you're walking and you turned around and you're like, all about perspective. You're like, I see it, and I'm like, oh, with that in mind, no.
How did you not see it?
Well, and like, to find the ball in the ones that we don't find yet, I might have to go somewhere crazy in the course, or just like look at it from the perfect angle. It's like, oh.
Sometimes I feel like I've looked there before.
Yeah, but it's all about perspective.
There, and then I look again, and now it's there.
It's all about the angle you look at it at.
Like, is there some shit written in the program that says, on the 5th time that you see them walk by, you can finally show the ball?
I can't wait for somebody to comment and be like, don't touch those levers. You will
Whatever
never find the balls if you touch those levers. And be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, huh?
Didn't know this.
But you want to go into our final thoughts and our review of the Walkabout Mini Golf, even though I think our scores will be pretty
Walkabout DLC for Myst? Yeah, go for it.
But right before we do that, like always, let's take a moment, take a message from our sponsors, a little ad break.
Yes.
They're important.
Yeah.
I know people don't like ads the most, but guess what? On our Patreon, if you want ad free, we sell an ad free tier of the podcast as well. You can also get exclusive Discord roles. You can vote on stuff. You can get shout outs. You can get video ticker, like your name across the bottom on a video ticker, a whole bunch of stuff. So go check that out. Go join our subreddit. Go join our Discord, especially if you you want to play some Among Us, but you don't have 9 other people to play with. Go join our Discord. We're doing a bunch of meetups, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Cha-cha. This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps,
link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code Ruff Talk VR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered. Fall is in the air, and our friends at Vincero Collective has sponsored this episode to make sure all of our listeners are accessorizing their autumn outfits with premium watches, jewelry, sunglasses, and more. Their top-tier designs make sure you look class while you save some cash. Other watchmakers have insane markups, so that's where Vincero steps in. You can have the looks of a premium lifestyle without breaking the bank. For a limited time only, get 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with our exclusive code RuffTalkVR at VinceroCollective.com. I love the high-quality feel and fashionable look that Vincero Collective brings without breaking the bank. Vincero Collective designs everything in-house, sources their own materials, and produces in small batches so the quality's at the highest standard. Whether you have a work meeting or a nice date planned, a high-quality watch can make a great impression. Vincero offers many attractive designs for the modern individual. In addition to watches, Vincero just launched their commuter bag. This is the ultimate travel bag specifically designed for someone who likes to look good while traveling. This product is made of 100% recycled nylon material, so it is lightweight and you can support a sustainable cause. Vincero Collective also offers iconic sunglass styles with polarized lenses and 100% UV protection. You can block out the sun with style. Feeling confident? Add on to your look with their essential yet sophisticated necklaces and bracelets for both you and for her. And with holiday sneaking up, this is the perfect gift for yourself or someone you love. Buy it before they sell out. But you don't have to take my word for it. With over 30,000 5-star reviews, they have been named GQ's go-to brand for premium lifestyle accessories. Get 20% off plus free shipping site-wide with the code RuffTalkVR at VinceroCollective.com. Support our show and use code RuffTalkVR at VINCERO Collective.com. Accessorize your life at an exceptional price with Vincero. We are excited to announce our newest Ruff Talk VR podcast sponsor, VRlist.xyz, a marketplace for VR talent that just launched April this year and already has over 100 members as of October. At VRlist.xyz, they believe the metaverse will usher in new opportunities for all those who partake in it. With that, they asked a simple question: how can you find VR creators? Unhappy with the results they found, it was time to take things into their own hands. They've embarked on a journey to simplify how those looking for VR services can connect with those who supply them. VRlist.xyz is an open marketplace for VR creators, instructors, entertainers, and proprietors to proudly showcase their talents and spaces to potential clients. And with already over 100 vendors listed, including Stratus and yours truly, VRlist.xyz is quickly becoming the premier VR talent marketplace. Again, that's VRlist.xyz to find the right VR talent for your needs.
All right. So do you want to go first? Do you want me to take the lead?
Go for it.
All right. It's a little different one. It's not like a standard review. Like
No.
I said, usually we do gameplay, replayability, functionality, aesthetics, and value, all rated 1 to 20 with the total adding up to the final score. That's too much for a DLC course. We're just going to do how is the course, 1 to 10, and why do you feel that way, right? For me, I'm going to give this DLC a 10 out of 10. I honestly think that this is one of the DLCs I've enjoyed the most because of how mentally challenging it was, you know, and even for me, you know, you always laugh at, you know, dude, did your ball do anything to you before? You know, you're seeking revenge on it because sometimes I'll really whip the ball. Half the time, I didn't do it nearly as much because, like, there was so much, like, you know, you got to go slow. You really think about what you're going to do. But there were some of the holes that actually benefited me. And I could tell when it was going to benefit me. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm going classic me. I would even say it. You know, there's one with, like, a bunch of buttons on the ground and you have to hit them all. And I was like, this hole is made for me. You see me do the full lined up hit, boom. But no, just overall, the strategic aspect of bringing a puzzle element to mini golf, I was like, wow, that's really cool. The interactability is great. The difference in easy mode and hard mode, even though they're basically the same course, it's like always, they do a great job differentiating the two and really, really making hard mode significantly harder. The balls, nothing was a gimme. Even, like I said, we got maybe 11, 12 of them. I don't know if a single one of those we got, like, boom, right away. Like, every single one of them we really had to search for. And just, I don't know. They really brought a whole new element to this course. And it makes me so excited to see what's coming next on the Walkabout Mini Golf. Mighty Coconut whiteboard that they must have chock full at their office. But, yeah, I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10. $2.99 DLC. So much replayability in this one. In my opinion, you have to play it a couple times because the first time you play it, you're not going to know how to exactly to solve the hole, So just on that, you got to play through it a couple of times regular. Then the hard mode. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for me on this one. This was a great experience.
No, fair enough. I won't repeat everything you said. I definitely think it's a 10. And I say that as someone who's not like a lifelong Myst player. I just enjoyed the course a lot. I enjoyed the challenge. I'm enjoying the ball hunt challenge. There's a lot of things about the course I feel like I don't know or understand totally. So there's a lot of replay for me for sure. And, they killed it. Like they've done every single course they've ever made. I mean, one could argue maybe some of their earlier courses aren't as great as these new courses, but I still love the early ones. I don't see anything wrong with anything. So a 10 for me. I mean, it's lived up to, the hype that's existed that I couldn't be part of because of not being a Myst player. But I have nothing but good things to say about it, especially if you want a challenge. If you're not looking for a really good challenge, I wouldn't probably jump all over it. But if you know that you do want you grab it.
Yeah, I think that this is probably their hardest course.
Yeah, that's just my opinion for sure. I mean, that's why I'm saying it's like I want to see a lot of these hole-in-one videos start popping. Because some of the other courses, they were pretty frequent.
Mm-hmm. And impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that these are going to be the most impressive ones. There's some I want to show me how you do it.
If you pull off a hole-in-one on that, like the one that I did where we played and I had to go to the wall and then back, right? Think of getting a hole-in-one on that.
That would mean that you would have to hit it hard enough that you go all the way down the hall, hit the button, bounce off the wall that's right behind that. Yep. Hit the wall that's off that. Roll all the way back and happen to roll down the hill at the perfect angle that you get.
Dude, crazy.
Insane.
But
insane.
You did get a hole-in-one.
But I won't say that was a skill one.
That let you hit the ball and it went in the hole in one shot.
I oofed
that
it.
was pure talent.
I gooned it. I went.
It was pure talent. No, it was blind luck.
No, you even said like, play that back. You're like, what?
Yeah, I want to see that again.
What happened? I remember when it went in, I was like, no way.
Hit the ball. Ping, ting, ting, ting. Bloop.
I was like, oh.
I was like, get the hell out, man.
Dude, I was so, because I'm not the best walkabout mini golf player. I'll be honest. Like I said, so oftentimes I hit it pretty hard, but I always have a blast.
I was going to say, I don't think we've ever played and been like in a bad mood, like,
no,
golf.
I think most times we play, we actually end up at least at one point, for whatever reason, we end up hysterically laughing.
Yeah, it's happened.
Every time.
It's happened.
Yeah. We just have so much fun with it, especially like you're never laughing at somebody messing up, but nothing worse than when like somebody has like an important shot to make and it's like it's on their score, it's like they're kind of cutting it close to par or the lead's close or something, and then they hit the ball and it goes worst possible scenario and it like goes all the way back to the beginning, or just completely misses the hole and shoots, rolls down a hill, just went backwards 2 shots. It's always funny. So
kudos to Mighty Coconut though.
Yeah, no, they
as always. I would expect nothing less from them at this point.
And again, this is why I'm so excited for when they do one that's like something that I'm a huge fan of, because I've been getting all this enjoyment out of like these ones that are, they're whatever. Not whatever in terms of like enjoyment, but whatever in terms of prior exposure to, When I get one that it's a diehard series of mine or something like that, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Oh, I totally get it.
Yeah, so wow,
Look
man.
forward to the future, of course.
No, and great team. Hopefully we can get some more people on from that team in the future. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody there, you get to, when we talk to them, you can hear that they're bringing something unique to it. And I don't know. It's a special team. So I hope we get some more interviews with them in the future too.
The diversity of the backgrounds of where they came from is what blows me away the most. It's so
Doesn't seem like too many VR dev backgrounds.
no.
You know what I mean? It's like
No.
they're all pulling out of left field and it just works so
Some
good.
rather impressive resumes.
Yeah. So I just want to keep learning more and more about the individual people who really make this game so magical. Because
I agree.
that magic feeling exists for sure.
It's the walkabout feeling.
Right?
It's not walkabout enough. It's just not walkabout.
That was walkabout mini golf was a descriptive term that we used in reviewing Bocce Time. When
Mhm.
your game is used to describe another game, like,
You have a damn good game.
yeah, you have a damn good game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think that just about sums up our thoughts on Walkabout mini golf and some of our thoughts as well on our early impressions of Among Us. But as you kept
We'll
saying,
see what
like,
the final impressions bring to the table when we're public lobbying it.
and I know that there's a lot more that, you and I wanted to say today, but, can't blow it all for next week. We don't want to just repeat ourselves endlessly. But I will say, we're reviewing it next week. So if, you're looking for games to play, like I keep saying, go join our Discord, play with us a bit. We'll be doing some public lobbies this next week as well, because it's only fair. We got to experience the hell. Watch with our luck. We're going to do like 10 lobbies public, and they're all going to be like super mature,
No way.
like the best of the best.
My bet on that right now,
Yeah, we'll be lucky to get one.
50-50, I'll say, maybe.
If I had to put what my guess is going to be my thoughts are next week, is that like, yeah, you need like some way to meet up with, but you need an organized group in order to get enjoyment, because the public library
My
lobbies are going to be
suggestion
terrible.
is played at 3:30 in the morning when there's no little kids up
Yeah.
playing VR. That's all.
But nonetheless, so if you enjoyed this episode, rate us 5 stars, subscribe, go check out our Discord, our subreddit. You can find the links to those in our show notes. Check out our sponsors. If you're sick of ad reads, go check out our Patreon and stay tuned for something special coming at the end of the week.
Sweet.
Sweet.